everybody today?
I think I'll play with
today?
what color? Do this. Oh, this purple's way too small.
Huh? All right. Elonica says hello, and Victor says hello.
Hello.
And we have a Bethany. And,
Hello, hello, hello.
And a Fiddle Shark, and a Charlie, and a Vivi, and a Lissy Mary. Wow, we have a lot of friends joining. They all say hi and hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there's a yo. This is actually perfect because we're studying shading in school.
Well, that's great, because I hope you're going to get better lessons from your school than you are from me.
They want to know how you are.
I'm doing good, thank you.
I just watched the Evil Knievel video.
Oh.
I was waiting so long for this. How are you both?
We are good.
We're good. Hey, howdy, people. Hello. Hello there. Will you do Inktober?
Yeah, so I am going to be posting an Inktober that I did back 2 years ago. So you guys will be seeing those.
While we're gone.
While we're gone.
Will you re-pick up October when we get home?
Yes. I might even do one before we leave. Boy, the perspective
so everyone is like, what's he drawing? What are you doing? What are you drawing now?
I'm drawing bad perspective at this point. So you guys could see this, right? Donna says that a lot of you were asking about shading.
And shadows.
And shadows. And I need you guys to be very specific because I have no idea. I can answer hopefully a specific question, but I'm not going to be able to do like, here's everything about shadows and shading. So I'm just drawing this out real quick. I just want to show you guys something.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock in the morning for us, and today we are talking about shadows and shading. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat, and Scott will answer your questions on shadows and shading. And yes, I know today is a funeral for the Queen, and yes, we are very sorry about all of that.
So here's a quick thing. Light hits a spot where it can't hit, it's gonna cast a shadow. All right, so that concludes our lesson on shadows and shading.
Jesus. Brooks is here. Oh geez, his dad's back in the hospital. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry. So what were the questions that you guys had? Because Donna says there was a lot of questions every single day.
All the time you guys have, help me with my shadows, help me with my shading. Be specific, ask some questions about shadows and shading.
Because everything you're going to learn from shadows and shading is going to be by looking at real life.
Tips on perspective, Dee Reynolds wants tips on perspective. So while you're drawing that, why don't you do some of those too?
Well, perspective, gosh, I keep telling you guys I'm not a teacher here, but okay.
Just tell us what you see. Tell us how you draw perspective. How are you and your lovely wife?
We're doing good, thank you.
How many years have you done art?
About 45 years.
How do you know how to do gradients?
That's just been practice. I mean, it's the ball is getting light from up here, right? So I'm not putting any color here. So then I just lightly here, a little harder, a little harder there, and that's how you get your gradient. It's gradients are light, and I'm just putting more pressure on the pencil. And that's how you can, this is light, And this is shadow. And what you're doing is when you're doing something on a sphere, you know, you're going to find where the light is. Like, let's say the light is over here.
Show us where it's coming from on the actual tennis ball. Like, point to where the light's coming from.
And so the shadow is going to be over here. So you can just, but when you do the grading, you're doing it, you could do it this way, or you could do it this way, but whatever's going to get you that feeling of the lack of light on this side. And then of course, you'll have shadow.
We want a little bit on shading of facial features.
Shading of facial features, okay.
That was one question. And then shading on the human body. So maybe do the face first, or maybe draw a person and show shading from a certain...
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here. Scott's been drawing since he was 7, so about 100 years. And our week just started, friendy, so going good so far?
All right, so you're gonna have, can you guys see this okay?
Yes. Well, I can see it okay. On my screen.
Hold on, my recording just went away.
Mr. Saba, do you think I can learn to do caricature in 4 days?
Yeah, I did a video on that, and essentially I made it, I fooled around with Photoshop. I don't know if that'll help, but that is definitely something that made it easier to learn.
Can shading be a warm color?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, so you're gonna show shading.
So look, so if the light's gonna come from down here, from up top, the bridge of your eyes are gonna create shadow. Your brows.
Okay.
And then your nose. And then the bottom of your lip.
Oh, I'll be doggone.
And your upper lip too.
Because your
And then
nose
depending
shadows
on,
your
you
lip.
know, how your jaw works, you're gonna have some shadow down here because the light's gonna hit right here and here. It's gonna hit your lip and it's gonna hit your chin. So what I tend to do, and of course it'll be under your neck too.
How do you prevent overshadowing?
Practice. A lot of the answers is going to be practice, people.
Char Heart says, realistically, shadows aren't all deep, dark, or light darkness.
Exactly.
So when doing certain types of art with realistic renditions, the shadows will be varying colors or varying shadow darkness.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, even in my little sketch, light bounces. So if you look, that's not pure black. That's picking up the color. Here, let me see. I'm gonna take you guys on a little ride.
Are you using Prismacolors right now?
No, these are just old watercolor pencils.
Okay.
Can you guys see the yellow on the wood?
Yes!
So the light's hitting this greenish yellow ball and it's bouncing off of here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even hitting it there a little bit, but even more powerfully right there.
What's the best way to shade clothing?
Practice.
What's your favorite medium to draw with right now?
To just draw, I like a colored pencil.
Scott has a video on burnout, so you can check out the
And there's a video on drawing folds too.
Scott, you really inspired me to create art even though I'm studying in a medical university, dreaming of becoming a doctor. Your videos made me create a whole sketchbook full of anatomy sketches.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I I don't know how to make a 1-minute video to just describe all this. And to be honest, I think it'd be very boring if I ever come up with an idea of how to do that. But I've seen like teachers, people who do this for a living, do so much better. They can tell you the dynamics of light and bounced light and core shadows and bounce, and everything. That's their thing.
How do you know when to stop shading?
If I want this ball right here, if I want this ball to have its shadow over here, but have its light source over here, and have it just be a little spot, and I want it to be thorny, and I want it to have blue shadows, and I want it to have green highlights, and I want it to, I can, because it's art. You don't have to worry about when it's too much. It's when it feels good to you. Unless you're just saying, I want to be the most realistic artist ever, and all I want to do is photorealism, then it's copy exactly what you see from a photo. But the rest of it is up to your interpretation.
Carl wants to know what colors you mainly use for shadows.
Purple. But that's my style. It's not a thing that you have to do. That's just my style.
Okay, Max Nicole's back and says maybe use a flashlight on the objects on your desk.
Yeah. I mean, but see, this is a scene. You can see some perspective and whatnot. We were painting out, and this was all in shadow, so I put purple in there. But that's my choice. I could have done that with reds. I could have done that with browns. I could have done that with Payne's gray. That is just something that I like to do, and that's what I want to get across to you, that when I do a purple shadow, it's because it makes me happy. You guys get to decide what makes you happy and how you want to do your shadows.
So Beef really has a question. If HB pencils that are like 2, do they shade well when I put pressure on them?
HBs, yeah, they'll do nice shadowing for you. I think I have one here.
How come it looks so easy when you do it? When I try it, it looks like a disfigured 4-dimensional shape. Practice.
Gosh, these are all H pencils. Sorry, thought I had an HB here somewhere.
Do you use crosshatch?
Sometimes with my inks I do. But honestly, keep the questions coming. I want you guys to understand that there is no right and wrong way to do any of this. That's the thing is.
Can you try doing a shadow with a pen? Just do a ballpoint pen with the shadow that you normally would do.
Okay, ballpoint pen?
Yeah, do a ballpoint pen and show.
Okay, we'll do the same scene. Let's see. Can you guys see it? Let me tilt it up a little bit.
They're curious and they are asking all the questions. I think it's just a matter of expressing it.
Okay, so we'll do the same scene, but with a ballpoint pen. If the ballpoint pen wants to work.
Scott has done a video on perspective. It's in the Art Hacks playlist. And somebody else. Balandu, he has some tutorials in the Art Hacks playlist on how to draw hair. But specifically, they want to know about
okay,
messy
so
hair.
with the ballpoint pen, I hope you're not looking for cross hatching, because I really don't do cross hatching with the ballpoint pen. But what I am going to do is I give each side its own direction of shading. So that way you can tell that it's a different angle. Like I might do this way and I follow the shape. So you can go, just follow that line. You can go here and you can follow that line. And this one's going to be darker.
Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen you live. I hope I'm not too late. That's Pinky Patch.
No, we just got here.
Nixie, you just put in the Art Hacks playlist, so check that out for some of the things that you guys are asking for. Sapazoo wants to know, if you could ask one question from yourself 10 years from now, what would it be?
Oh, God. I don't know. I honestly, I'm not that curious.
Charo Hart says, I have seen an artist use a thumbtack with a string at the top of the picture and line up the object edges with that string to make the correct slant of the room and objects.
I've seen that too, and that's and that is amazing. The thing is like I said, I use Winsor & Newton watercolors. The thing about perspective is, and this is what I'm trying to get across to you, is you can do perspective like this. Let's move this, okay? So perspective is, you got this point, that's your horizon point. You know, and you use your thing, and you got.
That's a stupid question.
Can you wait till I'm done with this, or?
I just don't know what horizon point means.
Okay. It's the point in the horizon where everything disappears. And, you know, you use them, whatever it is, okay? This is 1 point perspective, okay? My point is, or you could just start drawing with that imaginary point there, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it could be more fun. And that's the whole reason why I did the video about not having everything be perfect. Perspective doesn't have to be perfect unless you're going for photorealism. If you are going for anything stylized, have fun with it. Have your buildings be curved or something like that. Have them be wonky and bowing and whatever. That's what I'm trying to get across, is the fact that everybody, you know, there are people who break out the rulers and who get their stuff so perfect, and you don't have to.
What are some good ways to practice shading?
Still life. Get a couple things like this and just sit there and just draw it. And but my favorite thing is to just take a sketchbook and just go places and just draw things. Just sketch whatever you see. Go, like, what I love, like, I don't like drawing houses, but we were in a little area that had these cute little houses. I don't like drawing coffee shops, pinball machines.
I love it when you draw a coffee shop. It makes me happy.
I was at the doctor's office.
In watercolor, is it easier to mess around with the colors? As you know, we can play around with the opacity.
Watercolors, I mean, watercolors are not as easy as, say, gouache, because watercolors, once you get them down, you can only go darker. You can't go back lighter easily. And so it's a constant process of lighter, little darker, little darker, little darker.
What's your most used art supply?
I guess my pencil, the 4/8 pencil.
What point perspective are you doing? I've only ever done first point. That's Vivian.
I think that's 1 point perspective. I'm trying to remember. I think. See, I don't even remember my perspective lessons. This was 30 something years ago?
Oh God, I don't know.
I don't even remember. I just draw it. So, I mean, how many perspective points are these? So if you follow these out, there'd be a point out here, right? And then there'd be a point up here for these. I don't know how many perspective points that is. I don't think about
perfect are releasing words for simp to. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think of perspective points. I don't think of what's beyond the shape here when I draw this stuff.
Says 2 point. Under warranty says 2 point.
Okay.
I always wonder, do you like realism, semi-realism, or anime style in art?
Those aren't the only options, by the way. there's Art Nouveau, there's Pre-Raphaelite, there's Impressionism, there's Cubism, there's so many other styles. I always start off with something realistic, and then I try to add a little bit of my own style to it, which is a little bit of comic book, a little bit of Art Nouveau. It's got a lot of different styles to it.
2-point is a left to right, says under warranty.
Left to right.
What are some good tips for visual perspective art? That's some person on YouTube.
Visual perspective, I don't even know what that definition is.
Can you draw it in fisheye perspective? That's Washington.
Yeah, so, I mean, probably not very well, but in a fisheye perspective, essentially, let's say you had this brick right here, this thing. It would be bowing out a little bit like that.
What's your particular style?
I don't really have one. It's just a combination of all of the artists that I liked.
And then says, I guess my teacher stressed perspective because my school was interior design, so it was a bit more important to have a semblance of realism to it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's perfectly okay to do that. I have some realism to mine too. I mean, I did a lot of realism back when I was first starting out. So you see, this is that same, as it goes from this way to this way, it's gonna have more bend like this. So everything is gonna kind of curve around a fisheye as you look at it. So it's gonna take on that kind of
he's done a couple videos on colored pencils, so you can check the reviews list.
So this morning, Donna really wanted me to do kind of a Q&A. So just ask any questions. I will do the best I can. Just please understand that I might not be able to answer everything because, again, I'm not a scholar.
Under warranty says Circle Line Art has a channel on YouTube if you want to learn basic perspective.
There you go.
Can you make a video on a watercolor tutorial?
I do have a couple in the art hacks.
Stream guide, there is a list of Scott's art supplies. Can you show how to shade a tree?
The way that I shade a tree, and this isn't the like everybody does, but
Flynn says, graduated from art school last June and thought I'd share something about art styles if you plan to have an industry job. Consistency isn't a must, and variety is pretty good.
Well, that's good to know.
Hanalana, Bethany Primrose is our resident oil painter. Scott does not do oil painting.
Yeah.
So Bethany would be the one for oil painting tips.
So the only thing about a tree that you're going to need to know, if it's a tree like this, is that it's going to get light just as well, usually from the top. And there you go. That is a tree. That is just a very generic tree. Light from the top. You're gonna these branches down here are gonna get shadow. The branches are gonna create a shadow onto the trunk, and then this part will be getting light again, and then be some shadow under here. That's just a really generic tree. There's obviously so many different kinds of trees.
Okay. Reagan wants to know, what was the journey when you started art as a profession?
When I started art as a profession, I was doing. My first stuff was Star Trek, and I was doing you can see I was trying to make my stuff as realistic as possible. See? And it was really hard to do with colored pencils because you'd still see these like little lines and whatnot.
What paper do you most commonly use?
Watercolor paper.
Does anyone look at you weird if they notice you drawing people in public?
If they do, I don't notice because I don't look at other people.
I do, I notice. They don't look at him weird, they just watch what he's doing.
See, but I'm trying for realism, and so that was what I was.
How hard is it to draw headwear like hats and stuff?
I think it is kind of hard.
They want to know if you're doing a new art challenge soon.
Probably when we get back from our trip.
We're old and Scott likes digital art. A lot of people make beautiful things on digital art.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying digital art soon. Hopefully this week.
How do you shade metal?
Metal. Metal is interesting.
Do you like the Lord of the Rings books or movies more?
The Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit book.
Shading for metal.
Shading for metal is fairly simple, really. It's let's say this is a chrome bumper. All right, we got little things here.
He's been recognized in public exactly once. And he loves Star Wars.
You're gonna have a reflection of the sky. Probably like kind of a bit of a horizon kind of thing. And it could be the grass or something else like that. That's all it is. It's just a big mirror. That's all metal is. Now, if it's colored metal, those reflections are going to be much less, and they're just going to kind of show up as little tinges of color and mostly just highlights. But that's all it is. It's just.
Here's a great question. Shriyashi asks, in this era when photos, videos, and CGI are so available, what is the importance of art? That's more existential.
It's to tell a story. You're using your art to tell a story. It could be your story, it could be someone else's story, it could be, for me, I like to journal. I like to tell a story of what I've been doing in the places I go. I like to chronicle my life with that.
Talk about what kind of paper is good for watercolors, because Aisha always damages their paper.
Well, this is my favorite paper, which is Be Creative. This is probably the best paper I've worked in. And I would recommend this for a sketchbook, but otherwise I use a good cheap one that I use for my commissions is Canson watercolor paper.
What do you think about Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
Do you like clay figures?
I would assume so.
How do you shade leather?
Leather. Leather is, for me, leather is just going to be more shiny. So you would start off with a base color like this, and maybe some shadows or something. Hold on. Hate that song. And then usually, and I can't do it with that, but leather's just gonna have just that. I don't know if this is gonna go or it's not.
Do you have any tips for Prismacolors? I just started using them.
Yeah, there's a video on it, but you gotta press down really hard. That leather is just gonna be that highlight. That's the thing that makes shiny leather is just that spot where it's just gonna get that shine, and you're really gonna want to come over it with a really bright white to get that.
They want to know what you're doing next since you finish the 30 days.
Oops.
A lot of people want to know this.
Right now I've got, here, I will show you. These are all of the videos I have to make. These are all of the stuff that people sent me to try out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got a lot of videos to make.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've got to do that. There's my list of stuff that I've still got to do. So I thought I would try to get through some of that before starting a new challenge.
They want to see what your favorite piece of artwork is. Show both. Show your favorite piece that you've done and show your favorite piece that you have gotten from somebody else, just to cover both bases.
That's probably one of my favorite pieces right there, me. And I really like this one. I think this one's really fun too. This one's from Scott Gustafson.
Who's phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about shading certain objects here now than in class. That's great to know. What type of paper is best to draw on, and where are you doing those doodles right now? And do you have multiple sketchbooks for different things?
I do have multiple sketchbooks for different things. This is by Blick. This is by Blick, and it's just a really cheap sketchbook. And that's where I do all my quick little sketches and whatever else I need to do.
Kelsey Draws wants to know if you've ever considered commenting on the arts of your followers.
My only comment will always be, I think it's amazing. I don't like to critique people's work. I think it's pretentious.
Zamor sent you a tip and says,
Oh,
"Yo,
thank
Scott,
you.
I really love your videos. Even though I don't draw, I take a lot of things from your videos. My girlfriend draws, and I love to learn more about what she loves. You are so calming."
That's so nice of you.
Okay, that is phenomenal that you are supportive of her and that you are taking an interest in something that she loves. That is fantastic. It's a sign of a good relationship.
Yeah.
Taking an interest in each other. Genghis Khan says, "Scott, I'm slowly drifting away from my passion of drawing. It doesn't make me happy as it was before. Please help me get back to the thing I once loved."
I drifted for 10 years away from drawing too. I did 3D animation and stuff. What helped me, and it's not saying it's going to help you, but what helped me was a journal, was taking a sketchbook everywhere and drawing just mundane things. That really helped. Also, getting into Art Nouveau helped finding somebody else's style, going to a museum, and discovering new art and then trying to copy that. That definitely helped.
Flynn says, "You've inspired me to start journaling a bit more lately. My laptop broke, so I couldn't do digital art much anymore, so I've been getting more into journaling just to keep going."
That's great. I think it's great to just sketch stuff, you know? It just teaches you, like if I'm looking at this, it just teaches you how to just see shapes. You know, this is it. This is all this is. It's just that.
What do you think about mechanical pencils?
I think they're nice.
My 5th grade class wants to take on a 30-day drawing challenge inspired by your animals. Any tips on choosing a topic?
Oh, wow. Well, I really liked 60 Days of Studying the Masters, and I think you guys should try that.
5th grade?
So
They can do that?
doesn't matter. You just draw it, find an artist that you like and try copying it.
No, Scott was never an art teacher.
No. I tried it once and did not like it.
Would you watch a video of me drawing you?
Of course.
How do you do outlines for portraits in watercolor? Do you do it freehand?
Outlines for portraits in watercolor. If I'm drawing, if I'm looking at somebody, and they have, 3/4 perspective, I might do some little guides.
They want
For
to
that?
know how to draw faces. Can you draw a face? And we keep being asked for messy hair.
Messy hair. Okay. But if it's a portrait where I'm, someone's paying me or it's something I really want to get just right, I will project the image onto the paper so I can get all of the proportions right. I've drawn it here. I'll show you what I did. I was drawing, God, I forgot her name, from the new Rings of Power. And so what I do is I just make sure that I got all the proportions right. I just traced it,
Durin's wife.
Yeah. And so I just traced it just so I go, okay, I know where everything is. And then I could go in and I could start adding in all the detail and everything like that. So these are the things that I do. When I want to make sure I get it right, I do that. Sometimes I want it to be a little off. Sometimes I want it to be a little messy or a little caricature-ish. But other times when I want to get it just perfect, I trace it. Favorite artist?
They missed the hair journal.
Oh yeah, the hair journal was fun. Messy hair.
Yes, curly, messy hair, messy hair. Washington Jumper also wants to know, I can draw anything but still haven't found my own style, need help.
Ah, okay. So curly, messy hair, first you gotta get the shapes. So let's assume that this is the shape. Then what you're gonna do is, I start to get my hand to move like this. I'm finding the flow of the hair, and I'm going to push down harder every once in a while for shadows and lighter for the highlights. That's what I would do if I was drawing it. Now, if I was inking it, it would be completely different. And if I was painting it, it would be completely different. Sometimes you might want to follow, if it's longer hair, you might want to follow the flow of it as it goes.
Why do you use colored pencils for sketching when you do this?
I like color. You know, to me, if I was to do this, it's just boring gray. So I like color.
Scott does not redraw anything that he's drawn in the past.
No.
He does not like to go back and redraw things.
No, I'm always moving forward.
Yes, we are watching the new Rings of Power series.
We just watched the 4th episode, yeah.
We are all caught up. We will not give spoilers for those who are not, but we love it. So, great question. If I want to make art at work during my lunch break, what art supplies would you recommend to take? First of all, can we just say how awesome is that you want to make art on your lunch break? Please don't forget to eat.
Here, I'll show you what I have.
And I think that's fantastic that you're thinking about that. No, we have not made warm-up exercise videos.
You could bring a little sketchbook like this. You don't have to paint in it, but you could bring like a little sketchbook, you know, the size of your hand, and a ballpoint pen. Or you could bring a pencil and eraser. What I'm doing is, here, I'll show you.
Who's your favorite artist from before you were born?
I think Alma Tadema.
Why is realism important before finding your own art style?
It's not realism is important. It is just learning how to draw the way the world works. So light, shadow, reflections, form, function. Once you can just draw it, you can feel, then you can take that and manipulate it. It's kind of like saying, why is the alphabet, or why is learning English or grammar good before you become a writer? It's because you have to know the basics before you can break it. That's really all it is. It's not like you have to learn realism. It's just learning how to draw in general. And the best way to learn is by drawing from life. So this is a little sketchbook. It actually goes into a little wallet, and it's colored. And so I have both my colored pencil and a white pencil, and I could just do sketches in that if I want to, if I don't want to do paintings. But there's so many little tiny sketchbooks that you can have, that you can take with you, and you can do that.
But if you're going out in the wild, you have a watercolor travel kit, you have pencils,
Yeah.
you have a pencil sharpener, you have an eraser. Those are the basic things that you take with you, but you can really take anything that makes you happy to draw with, right?
Yeah. Like I said, here, I'll show you mine.
GGX7, Scott's style is just his own style.
This is inside my wallet. This is my wallet, and here, I have a little ballpoint pen
Thoughts
that
and
extends.
Impressionism.
I think it's wonderful. And I sketch whatever I'm sitting in front of. You know, it could be a water fountain, it could be my shoe, it could be whatever, you know?
Brown says, Scott, if you need a messy hair model, I've got you covered this
Yeah.
morning with laughing emojis.
Thanks, Jamie.
Can you do just a quick little thing on how to blend colored pencils? Ola, Dola, I would like to know.
All right, let me see.
How do I get rid of mentally hating my art? That's Chase.
That is, did you remember the video I just posted a couple days ago about perfectionism? That's where hating your art comes from, is you're trying to make it perfect rather than just appreciating where you are. You're just gonna be where you are at this point.
Have you ever made a flip book?
I did. I used to put little stick figures in my sketchbooks, you know, and do flip books with them, but
Is the little book you had, the little book you just showed, was that an Etcher sketchbook?
no, that was a sketch wallet.
No. The white one was an Etcher, and then the other one was a sketch wallet. Yes.
This one?
Correct.
Yeah, that's
That's
Etcher.
an Etcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wouldn't recommend Etcher for sketching. Those are watercolor ones.
Okay.
You just way more than. Okay, so colored pencils. You're gonna lay in your.
The perfectionism video helped me so much from getting out of a really long art block. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, my pleasure. So I'm gonna blend these, right?
Do you like Ren fairs? I've seen a lot of artists like you at them.
Yes. Now you see I'm pushing a little harder, but also if I push a little lighter, I get that. And then I could come in with, say, this color.
Amy something says, I love your video on perfection. I'm trying to say practice makes progress instead of practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
That's a great way to do it.
So the harder I push, the more I can kind of start to blend these around. You see how they're starting to mush up? You can actually move it around. See
Is
the
that a technical term? Moosh?
mush up.
Mush up.
You see how I did that?
And please tell me what colored pencils those are.
These are Prismacolor pencils.
They are Prismacolor.
So I'm going to add some pink over it.
So do Prismacolors moosh better than others?
Yeah, they mush as good as I know.
Okay.
So the problem is, of course, you're going to get, it's going to push down on the other paper behind.
Spoopy Koro says, what if my art just sucks? LOL.
Then
Your
you-
art will never suck as bad as mine. There you go.
This was us, the Ren Fair. I haven't written down, but yeah, we went to the Ren Fair a couple months ago, right?
Mm-hmm. June?
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
June.
But yeah, I all of our art sucks. My art sucks. You know, that's the thing is but what you have to start doing is saying, look at it as if you're someone from the future and you're looking back. Look back on your old art. Is your current art better than your old art? Great. Then just keep making art and it'll keep getting better. You'll always think it sucks because you're always looking forward. But try looking back.
Warranty says composition is the last thing you learn in the academic setting.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Can you show your very first painting?
I don't have my first painting. I just
There's
have my
a
first
video-
drawing.
There's a video on the progression of Scott's art over the years, starting from when he was little. So you can go and look for that video. Have you ever tried to make art on a tablet?
I'm going to. I bought, where is it? Here it is. I bought a Wacom tablet.
You did indeed.
So I'm going to give it a shot.
Opie Mello says, art is gorgeous no matter how it looks because it's made with your own creative mind and hands.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, look, that's all I keep saying is look at Picasso. He could really draw well. He could do very realistic stuff. And then he just decided to do those weird whatever he did, and people thought, oh my God, that's amazing. Look at the weird stuff that people are willing to buy.
Yep.
Your art doesn't have to look perfect
Or like anybody else.
or like anybody else's. You just have to come up with something that makes you happy.
Macy wants to know, do 5-year-old Crayola pencils mush very well?
I don't know. I've not found the Crayola colored pencils to mush at all.
Sarah Wilson sent a tip and
Oh,
says,
thank
which
you.
Ren Fair did you go to? In Texas, I've been to the Scarborough Fair and Texas Ren Festival, the latter being the biggest Ren Fair in Texas.
Oh, ours is here in Middle Tennessee.
It's just Tennessee
In
Renaissance
Franklin.
Festival, that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's not, actually, it's in Murfreesboro.
What are some types of drawings practices 3D animators? If you're a 3D animator, you don't need to worry about drawing, you need to worry about acting. Your job as an animator is to be an actor. So you have to learn what to do with, what are your people going to do with their hands, how to read a scene, listen to the lines, and deliver it. You're an actor. Don't worry about drawing. You're an actor.
Balandu, he did the curly, messy hair. Which artist is your biggest inspiration?
It's either Alphonse Mucha or Drew Struzan.
Is it okay to use my eraser on my drawings all the time?
Yeah, if that makes you happy, use your eraser. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, what are you erasing and why? Are you erasing it because you just want to get some highlights, or are you erasing because you think you made a mistake?
Starkey says, wow, I never thought of looking backward instead of forward. What are some types of drawing practices 3D animators should practice? Good question.
I just answered that.
You did?
Yeah.
Do you guys think that making art is only for making it well? Is that why you draw or paint? I draw because I need to. I get better in the process, but what I want is to enjoy and express myself. That's Spanish Sass.
Oh, that's nice, Spanish Sass. Thank you.
I'm liking my art now. It's better than when I really started drawing again about 3.5 years ago. That's your
Good
person. Any tips on drawing cuts and scars?
Oh, cuts and scars are always, you got to remember there's a spot that's going to have shadow, and then the spot that's going to be getting the light, and then there's going to be that little pink area in between. So if this is your skin.
Appleby says, all these people are letting themselves down. Just enjoy the process, guys.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just very, very hard on themselves.
Yeah, you guys are. You know, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to my fallback plan, which I told Dawn. I said I'm gonna paint.
Yep.
Because I didn't think there was any way that I could talk about shading for more than 5 minutes.
But you have been for half an hour, and I'm very proud
No,
of
the
you.
shading took 5 minutes, like I said, and then the rest was other stuff.
Laquan wants to know, can you live stream when you sketch outdoors?
Can I live stream when I sketch outdoors? I could try.
It's hard because you don't know if you're going to have data. That's the problem. If you're going to be able to live stream over your digital connection. And sometimes you can, and sometimes it's harder. Can you draw a hand? Walter's just bringing the chaos. Abel wants you to draw a beautiful woman. Ophi Mello says, I just want to say thank you because your videos actually gave me the confidence again that my art actually isn't bad because all art is good.
It is. It is. And remember, your art is. I wish would they let you. They won't let you midway turn the stream, huh?
I don't know. You want to try?
No, it's fine.
How do you break a portrait down into simple shapes, square, triangle, or circle?
That's exactly how you do it.
They're
Circle,
asking
square.
How do you do it?
Okay. How do I break down what now?
How do you break down a simple drawing into a square, circle, triangle? That's Dole.
Okay. So let's look at her face. Circle. Nose is going to be a bit more of a triangle. There's going to be circles here. You're just simplifying it so you can get your proportions. Then you could start adding the other shapes. What those are they're markers for you to base your proportions off of, if that makes any sense.
Marcy says, I've lost the use of my dominant hand and I'm trying to relearn using with my other hand. Have you ever tried using your non-dominant hand?
Not successfully, no. And I wish you good luck. Yes, October, I started another one. And I will hopefully finish her this week.
Do you have any tips for coloring with alcohol markers and coloring hair?
Yes, there's videos hopefully on both of those.
What is important in art, talent or passion?
Passion.
Could you talk a little bit about the use of negative space? I think I always overcrowd my art.
Yes, there's a video on it. A really good video. I like that video.
How do you create texture by shading?
It depends on the medium, really. I try not to create too much texture with my shading. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to answer that one. I'm sorry.
Hey, Mark's here. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Should we try new art forms, enhance what we are experts on, or try doing what we can't do?
I think that depends on if you're bored or not. If you're getting bored of, hold on, I should be recording this. If you're getting bored of your work, then try new things. If you are happy with what you're doing, then keep doing it. I get bored easily.
Can you give me some tips on blending colored pencils? That's Octocat. Scott just did a little thing earlier about blending colored pencils, and there are videos of colored pencils he's just tried. So check those out and that'll help. How long does it take for you to complete each painting?
I try to keep them around an hour and a half. This one will probably take me about 3 hours because it'll be gouache. And
how much caffeine does everyone need to keep up this chat? So much caffeine. How can you draw a person's face with texture, details, and shading?
those are things that are, what kind of texture, what kind of shading, like there's really not much texture in these. The texture is the paint. If you're talking about the skin texture, like you want to actually see the skin texture, you're talking about doing like hyperrealism. And that is literally just looking at a very, very detailed close-up and drawing every single pore and scar and birthmark or whatever. And I think that's wonderful that some artists like to do that, but for me, I would prefer to just try to capture a likeness or capture a mood or capture something, and you're seeing paint strokes or pencil strokes or something. That's just me. I figured cameras already do whatever I'd be trying to do in photorealism so much better than me. And I'm already probably using a camera, a photo anyhow, so it's already kind of redundant.
Okay. For gouache paintings, do you use watercolors as an underlayer for values like they do in oil paintings and then go over it with gouache?
I'm starting to, just for fun. I'm starting to, just to see if I like it.
As far as book recommendations go, and as far as art supply recommendations go, Scott's got a list of everything he uses and books he recommends, and it's on the website. There is a resources page, and you'll find everything there. I know you've done noses before, but I've been having trouble drawing the nose bridge area. I really don't know the right word, but the hard bits are things I have trouble with. Any tips?
I will say this, honestly. I'm having a problem with this area. This, the sides of the nose. So I'm just, that part, I'm having a little bit of problem with it too, is what I'm saying. It's not just you. Some of the stuff is not easy.
That's the part that they were having a problem with, by the way.
Yeah.
Should we take breaks when we're painting something?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you give any tips for drawing without a reference picture? Actually, he can't. He loves reference.
Yeah, I love reference, but I mean, if you're drawing without reference, it really doesn't matter, right? You're drawing something that's out of your head and you're drawing whatever you feel like drawing, so it doesn't have to look real. I guess my thing is sometimes people are like, I'm trying to draw something realistic out of my head. Why? You know, that's you have a photo, you can get you can get a model, you could do, you know, there's so many things, but if you're just trying to draw something out of your head that just makes you feel good, then it doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as it makes you feel good.
We did not watch the Queen's funeral because it was on way early for us, but I'm catching up on repeats and news here. What piece of art have you done recently that you are the most proud of?
Recently. I like the Olivia Newton-John. It doesn't look exactly like her, but I like kind of just
Love Olivia Newton-John.
the style of it. And the colors are nice.
Have you ever drawn something on a piece of paper or surface and thought it was good but couldn't duplicate it on your paper of preference? I know I have. It's so irritating.
I did when I was younger, but you know, again, I don't do that anymore. I very rarely start a piece of art that I'm already not planning on putting. I don't draw stuff on not good paper anymore.
Graphite or charcoal?
I like graphite. I like charcoal for, you know, if you're doing figure drawing and whatnot, but not for painting.
How do you find your art style?
I think it's by copying people that you admire. That's how I found my style. And it's funny because there's so many of you young people who come on and say, what kind of style is that? Realism? And realism isn't really a style. I mean, hyperrealism is a style if you want to call it that, but that's just hyperrealism. I think it's like asking someone what kind of style is their choice of clothing. Unless they're specifically wearing like Victorian clothing or something like that, it's just a personal preference, and your style is based on your experiences and your likes and your dislikes. I don't think there is a style to my art, and there probably isn't going to be a style to your art. It's just going to be yours.
My high school teacher asked me to give some advice for the kids who wanted to go to art school. What advice should I tell them?
Oh man. I wish I don't know. What do you think, honey? Yeah, it's a tough one, ain't it?
I don't know. There's so many things that are running through my head. Who's your greatest teacher? Give us a minute to think about that.
Maybe my mom, I guess.
Do you have a video with you trying graphite or charcoal? I want to improve with that medium.
No, I have not done that in a while.
What are your favorite things to draw besides me?
Hair. I like hair. So this whole pencil sketch thing, I'm going to go over it with gouache. I'm probably overdoing it a lot, but I just kind of just doodling at this point.
How do you find your joy in art after a 2-year art block?
I found it by trying something different. I went to watercolors, which I had never done before, and that was really, really fun.
Which do you find easier, watercolor or gouache?
Watercolor.
Do you teach at a university?
Oh God, no, I don't even teach online.
I feel like using a reference is cheating, and I'm trying to convince myself that's not true.
Cheating how? There's no, first of all, again, there's no such thing as cheating in art. Cheating would imply that there are rules. There's no rules. I'm using a photo reference right now. Am I a cheater? Is that what you're saying? I'm a cheater, huh?
Cheater, pumpkin. Have you tried any space abstract art stuff?
I've done for when I did Star Trek, I did a couple nebulas. That was as abstract as it got.
When did you start to have an interest in art?
Highly passing interest, maybe when I was 6 or 7.
Scott, how can I escape the bad habit of stopping drawing when I mess up really bad? If you've ever experienced this, please give me a tip on how I can let go of it.
What do you mean you messed up really bad? Were you copying from a photo and it stopped looking like that? What made you say that you messed up?
That's Shadow. So answer that question, Shadow, and we'll go from there. The red car is so cool.
Oh, thank you. That's Esmeralda.
Jordan says, I'm starting to think the Hobbit hole is a superhero base. Maybe it is. Cheryl Park says, when you mess up, turn the subject into something else, then practice on the area on different paper later. Using reference is a must. Will you do a short on your bracelets and rings one day?
I don't think so. It's not that interesting,
It's
honestly.
literally like 10 seconds, guys.
Yeah.
Tracing over digital art is cheating, definitely, isn't it?
No. There's no such thing as cheating. What do you guys?
Hold on a second. If you're taking somebody's art and you're copying it and you're passing it off as your own,
No,
that's not cheating. That's stealing.
It's just stealing. But I'm
But
saying,
if you're tracing it to get better, that's
yeah,
not cheating.
if you trace somebody else's art to learn, there's nothing wrong with that.
What is your favorite color?
Paint's gray.
Any tips on inking? I mess up a lot, says Joseph.
Keep messing up. That's how you're gonna get better. That's exactly what I did, and eventually I got better. And I'm still not great at it. I still mess up all the time, but a lot of it has been just getting being okay with the messing up.
Do you
Hey, Santa's here.
Do you ever do a master study of oil paintings? Hi, Santa.
Hi, Santa. I did 60 days of studying the masters, and pretty much most of those were oil paintings, I would think.
Can you do a video on heads and head shapes?
I did.
Mm-hmm. Technical liners versus brush pens? Question mark. What's a technical liner?
I think like a micron. Like a felt.
Okay.
And I use them for different things. So to me, they're just tools that I will use for different purposes.
Any tips? Oh, you did the tips on the inking thing. Now, I'm curious. You're using a colored pencil on this one, or is that a watercolor pencil?
That's a colored pencil.
Okay, so you're using a colored pencil. Since you're gonna do gouache, you're not gonna go over this with ink, correct?
Right.
You're just gonna go from the details of the colored pencil to the gouache.
I used to, back when I was doing gouache a lot, I used to just do pencil outlines, just where all the parts were, and then I would start painting in. And then now I'm gonna just try doing the thing where I just add some watercolors onto it to get some values, and then just keep building it up. But you'll still see some of these colored pencils underneath.
Opie Mello had to learn to draw without reference because my high school teacher hated people who used them. So now I'm learning to fight through that it's wrong because now I'm in art school and it's encouraged.
Yeah,
Yeah, we still have issues with people.
Art teachers who just tell you
that's wrong and you can't do that.
Yeah, it's just there's something.
Yeah, not okay with that. How do you decide values when you choose colors?
I'm looking at a photo. So again, I would say 99% of the time I'm doing it based on real life. You know, it's very rare that I'm doing something that is out of my head. You know, every once in a while there'll be a part of the body that I'm kind of doing from memory, or, you know, logically there's this part or something like that. But for the most part, I'm just doing a little portrait. So I'm looking at a photo and I'm getting my values and my light source and everything from that.
Yes, I am Scott's wife. What is your favorite colorful color?
I like this color. It's like black cherry, I think it is.
How can you blend colored pencils which have contrasting colors like turquoise and peach?
Just pushing. When you push down hard, they will blend together, and then you'll see what comes out.
Which animals do you enjoy drawing the most?
pandas.
What's your favorite type of art?
I would say it's more of the romantic stuff, the pre-Raphaelite things.
Is AI art better than human art? What's your opinion?
AI art is human art. It's all it is doing is stealing from humans. You know, if you look at it, it's you can even still see the signatures on some of the pieces. So that's all it's doing. Is it's just doing what we do as humans, which is we take our inspiration from other artists. It's just kind of like taking a nose from this artist and an eye from this artist and whatever, and it's just mashing it together. So
I do have a favorite piece of art that Scott did. Do you have it up there?
yeah, it's, this one.
Yep, that's my favorite piece that he's done. That's actually a print of it. It's actually huge. It's like 24 by 36.
Huge for me.
Yeah,
Not
that's
like,
huge for
you know,
Scott.
like a 6-foot painting or anything.
Yep. Do you like anime?
I did when I was younger, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to be lurking now. I've got some ideas to sketch out while they're still on.
Good.
Yay! I can never get eyelashes right. You don't really do eyelashes.
No, I try to just do the shapes.
Neighbor says, I want to tell you that you inspire me a lot. Your videos push me to do more traditional art and finally get back to drawing after depression.
Oh, fantastic.
I like pencils, but I don't draw. And I journal, and so I usually typically use pens, specifically fountain pens. I've had to learn when drawing eyes or doing eyebrows that eyes are sisters, not identical twins, says Steph.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to do a video on the other eye soon.
Yes, I do like stickers and washi tape and all the things. What's more important in art, creativity or making real art?
What is real art?
I don't know what that means.
Sorry, I need a little more information on that.
Yeah, I use. Can you be more specific on that one? Every artist. Oh, I don't know. Practice, 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 Kartika. Practice, practice, practice. I love the cup you're using for water.
Thanks, a friend made it for me.
What artist has inspired you the most? And there's a video on how Scott
Probably
found
Drew
his-
Struzan.
found his art style. You can check that out in the Art Hacks playlist.
All right, so
What's your favorite time frame to draw? Dawn, dusk, or noon?
dawn or noon. I once the end of the day comes around, I'm done.
Graphite. What music do you have on in the background?
Oh, just generic.
Is AI creativity better? Better than what?
I don't think
And
so.
AI is not creativity. AI is an amalgamation of other people's creativity. Let's
Yeah.
be clear. AI itself is not creativity.
I mean, I'm fascinated by AI art. I think it's
It
wonderful.
really
I think
is.
it's really cool. But I'm just saying it's all it's doing is just doing what we do anyhow, is we're just taking a bunch of, it's just searching the internet for images and it's just compiling stuff. It's not creating out of its head any more than we are. We're using our imaginations. It's using reference from other art.
What's your least favorite thing to draw?
Hands and feet.
And can you suggest a book that would help with drawing perspective?
Oh God, I don't really have any. No, I'm sorry. I mean, there's
washi tape, understatement of the year.
there's a little bit of perspective in how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Have you ever tried other types of art that are not strictly drawing?
Like what? Like
Marcos.
pottery or something?
Marcos did not say, just asked, have you ever tried other types of art? You want to try sculpture.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like to.
Creativity is real art, just not always realism. There is no such thing as real art. Art is art. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So I'm just adding a little bit of watercolors now.
Nishat says, hey Scott, I really love just pulling onto paper and pen and doing urban sketches. I'm trying to improve on my hatchling skills with a pen. Any tips?
Again, I would say just practice. I was talking earlier how I try to follow the form. So, gosh, I can't do it here. But essentially,
Are you pressing differently to create the different textures?
if you have a box this way, I would go this way for this and this way for that. So I follow the form, if that helps. I'm sorry, what was the next one?
Are you pressing differently to get the different textures?
For the colored
What you're
pencils?
doing right now, yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Blow dryer. Okay. So this is why we did the 30 days of drawing national animals, is because it gives us a foundation of something. You guys know what I'm going to do, talk about it, and I'm not sitting here trying to think of how to keep you guys entertained. This is,
Give us an art challenge like Inktober. What would you challenge us with?
well, I was hoping to do October with the octopus, but I just don't. Our schedule just didn't work out this year for that.
Scott uses Prismacolor colored pencils. How much time do you spend in the Hobbit hole?
About maybe 10 hours a day.
What do you do when you mess up with colored pencils? I mean, if you do make a mistake, how do you erase it?
You got electric erasers, you got the magic eraser. There's good erasers. It just depends on how well your paper is. If you're working on really good paper, like a thick paper, then you'll be able to erase it. It's really up to your paper.
What's the one thing you've drawn that you'll never do again? Not speaking about a medium. Like animals.
I'm trying to think of something that I really hated drawing, but
Hands, but you have to draw.
no. I don't know. I don't think I've done that. Blow dryer.
What is the most efficient way to practice art? I have little time to practice and I'm having trouble with faces right now, and I feel like just drawing more faces isn't really working.
It depends on how you learn. For me, it's the way that I learn is by just doing it over and over and over again until I figure it out. If you're just fed up with that, I would say try some books. And there's some books in my book recommendations. Maybe one of those might help. But sometimes different people learn differently. And so if you need to take a drawing course or read a book or something, and that might help you kind of get through it, I would definitely try that.
This is one of the characters from Lord of the Rings of Power. And Aruj wants to know if you've ever thought about changing the Hobbit hole. And Aruj, hobbits don't do change very well. So the answer to that is no.
Blow dryer.
recommend buying journaling stuff from? Okay, so Aisha, so if you want something that's a very reasonable price, Stationery Pal has some great pens and great sticker packs and great washi tape and journals. The paper is an 80-pound paper, so it's not a super high quality paper, but it's very, very reasonably priced. If you want something that's a little bit better quality paper, actually it's like a leaps and bounds quality paper, Archer and Olive is a really, really good company for that. And I have a supply list for journaling supplies in Scott's website. It's Donna's Journaling Supplies. And I actually don't have the Archer and Olive notebooks in there, but I need to put them in there.
You should.
So, yeah, I will do that. Scott, where did you get the cup from? It looks ancient.
It is actually by a friend of mine, Lisa Asano. She made that for me. I did a painting of her. She's on TikTok. I think she might even be here too on YouTube.
Yeah, as someone who lives in the Middle East, it's pretty hard finding all these things. I can imagine. I don't know what to tell you. I know Stationery Pal is based overseas. I want to say they're either in China or they're in Thailand, and I don't know what to tell you for finding.
The only way you're going to know is by
like
just
that.
Googling
Yeah,
and,
you have to
and
look
just
for
trying.
your specific country. Do you have any tips for drawing hands or to draw more realistic pictures?
Yes, there's videos on both of those.
Thanks, Bethany. I will do that after the thing. No, Mrs. Saba does not make art. Which brush are you using right now?
These are the Etcher Labs watercolor brushes, which I'm almost
Have you tried digital
killed.
painting, and do you see it in place equal to regular painting?
I am about to try digital painting, and then I think, yes, it is 100% equal to regular painting. I think it's, you know, the art that you're able to do is just honestly superior with it, you know?
Ashley says, hi Scott, I'm a young artist. I very recently found your channel and your art inspires me every day. Do you have any tips on color compositions or how you decide on colors?
I think color is a lot of color and lighting are the mood makers. So if you're using a lot of blues, you're gonna feel cold. If you use a lot of warms, you're gonna feel warm. You know a lot of blues, a lot of yellows and oranges, you're gonna feel warm. So it kind of gives you it sets the tone. It gives you the mood. You can have red can make you could be angry. Greens could feel peaceful. So it's your emotion. So there's no rules one way or another. It's how the artist uses it. I've seen artists use blue and have it feel warm. I've seen artists use red and have it feel cool. So it's how you wield it.
Joel lives in the Middle East as well and says Amazon is your friend, my friend. So there you go. There's a question about either are you going to use iPad, PC, Procreate, or Photoshop?
PC with a Wacom tablet. And I think the software that came with it is
Scott is drawing a character from
Clip
Lord of the
Studio
Rings
Paint
of
Pro.
Power.
Also Corel Painter and Aftershock too. But I'm probably not going to try to learn every.
When you were still in the comic industry, who did you work with while you were there?
Let's see. Marv Wolfman, Len Wein. Who else did I work with?
Axel.
Yeah, well, those are editors. You know, Joe Quesada, Axel Alonso. Let's see, the writer on my Spider-Man was Greg Rucka. I worked with Frank Cho, Mike Ringo, a lot of different people, yeah.
How did you get so good at drawing big pieces in such a short amount of time?
These are not big pieces. Look, this is the size of my hand. This is what, 6 by 9? These are not big pieces, and like I said earlier, I traced the just little outlines so I knew where all the body parts were, so I didn't have to sit there and draw and redraw and just get it just right. So these are just tools you use to speed things up when you're trying to work fast.
Botan says, good afternoon. I have ambitions in art and I've been following your work for a long time. I just got into art school and I would like to thank you for helping build my taste and own style.
Oh, that's nice. You're welcome.
Do you think Picasso's realism decreased and creativity increased with time?
Oh yeah, I think he just abandoned realism. You know, and it's again, if you watch the video I did a couple days ago on perfection in art, you'll see I was doing realism when I was younger. Then I got bored of it, and I know when this is done, it'll look more realistic. Once I get the gouache in there, it'll look more like these pieces, and that's okay. But I'm still, real people don't have white outlines around them, and you know, I'm trying to make my art looser. I'm trying to give it more of a painterly feel to it, and so that's where I'm going as an artist, is not in the direction that Picasso went. He went over to crazy land. I'm just trying to make my art feel more like art and less like a photograph.
Have you done tribal art?
The closest I got to doing any tribal art was when we were doing the Aborigine, and I did their dot paintings in the backgrounds.
What do you do in your free time besides art?
I play games.
How can you concentrate on your art while answering these questions? The chance of mistakes are high, right?
No, I'm just making art. It's not like it doesn't take that much brain power.
I read the comments and the questions to him, so he doesn't have to keep track of all of the comments. So I read this to him.
So
How do you upload your art? You scan it with a scanner or
yeah,
a photo?
I have a scanner, and I scan stuff in and post it there if I need to.
Clip Studio Paint Pro is great. I actually use it daily.
Oh, good. Okay.
They like it when I unbox things. How fast do you guys read the messages? Oh, they read the messages very quickly. They try to answer all the questions that are like duplicates or questions that they know how to answer. Scott, I struggle with my colors being oversaturated. Do you have any tips with desaturation?
They want to know how to desaturate their stuff?
I struggle with my colors being oversaturated. Do you have any tips with desaturating? Is this what layering your colors does?
Yeah, it depends on the medium though. So it depends. Are you working in colored pencils or watercolors or what? If it's watercolors, water will desaturate it. If it's colored pencils, you can go over with a neutral tone to desaturate it.
Scott did a video on the 1 million. We are in process of putting together a video for what we're going to do for 1 million.
Yeah, would you guys like to see some of the stuff that we were going to give away? Mm-hmm. So we have prints. These are some of the prints that we were going to give away.
Oh yeah, Bethany draws very large. Is Mr. Plover going to come soon? Lorenzo says, Scott, a question about the learning process, and please don't apologize, Lorenzo. Other than just drawing, would you also ask for feedback or consciously try not to make mistakes, or was it all more automatic?
Okay, I'm sorry, what was that?
Question about the learning process. Other than just drawing, would you also ask for feedback and consciously try to not make mistakes, or was it all more automatic?
For just learning? Learning is just doing it enough times to where you feel you're happy with it. I mean, so I guess you could say it is automatic, but yeah, you are consciously trying to fix the things you didn't like in the last piece.
What gives you inspiration?
Other artists. So these are some of the prints that we were going to give away for the million thing when we get back from our trip. And then I'm probably going to pick out a couple of original pieces too. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to do a drawing.
How do you feel about the 1 million?
I'm really excited. I mean, that's a pretty big milestone. I'm not going to lie. And we're very thankful. Thank you to everybody saying congrats. It is really cool, and so we're just I have to come up with something for us to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday though.
Next week.
No, this is Monday.
Oh God.
So I've got to come up with something that we can do, so that way I have a project to work on or whatever while we're talking. So I'm going to, so I'm going to come up with something.
But we're gonna go make scones right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that. It's been 85 minutes. That's close enough to 90. And I'm sorry that this was a little not normal, but we'll figure it out. Thank you all. And
Thanks for being here with us today.
we will see you on Wednesday, hopefully
We
with
will.
a little bit more clarity.
We'll work on clarity.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, mods.